लाइव और कर दिए पहले। हाँ
अरे बैटरी तो बड़ी बड़ी हाँ
Dear delegates, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Respected Rashtrapati Shri Pranab Mukherjee, we'd all like to welcome and applaud you for gracing this valedictory session of the Pravasi Bharatiya 2017.
A very warm welcome also to all our excellencies and dignitaries on stage. We'll open with the formal welcome address by Sri D.V. Sadananda Gowda, Honorable Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಉದ್ಯಾನ ನಗರ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಈ ಸಮಾವೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. Honorable President of India, His Excellency Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, Vice President of Suriname, His Excellency Mr. Michael Ashwin Aden, His Excellency Dr. Antonio Costa, Prime Minister of Portugal, Honorable Governor of Karnataka Shri Vajubai Rudabai Wala, Chief Minister of Karnataka Shri Siddaramaiah ji, my cabinet colleague Shri Anand Kumar ji, General V.K. Singh, Minister for State for External Affairs, R.V. Deshpande, Minister for Tourism and Heavy Industries, dignitaries from foreign countries and India, Pravasi Bharat Samman awardee, delegates attending the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome all of you to this Pravasi Bharat Samman Award ceremony of the 14th edition of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Bangalore. The Samman Award ceremony marks the culmination of the three-day convention, which saw the participation of several delegates from all across the world. I hope that the event gave you the opportunity to discuss matters that are important to you, to connect with the leadership in India, to network with other overseas Indians and get glimpses of developments in contemporary India. For us, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention is a celebration of the strong cultural, emotional, and historical ties that bind overseas Indians to their place of origin. The global Indian diaspora can be visualized as branches of a tree that has flourished and continues to bear the fruits of success. The branches may be far from the roots may be invisible, but they exist and they are strong. We take pride in nourishing these roots and enabling overseas Indians to remain connected with their motherland. The Indian community abroad contributes in significant ways to the Indian economy. Their global remittances were the highest in the year 2015. They make investments in India and support social and developmental projects through philanthropy. Wherever they are, the Indian diaspora continue to be the best brand ambassadors of India, keeping the Indian flag flying high, proudly celebrating their Indian culture and heritage. You have an essential Indianness ingrained in you, a slice of our art, music, literature, cuisine, and even our traditional system of hearing. In Girmitia countries such as Maldives, Fiji, Guyana, and others, Indian origin communities have upheld and cherished the age-old traditions and dialects of India. Across the world, the Indian community in various countries has also been an integral element of our bilateral relationships with your host nations. You have played a critical role in strengthening the people-to-people ties that bind India to these countries. Your migration from India and your assimilation into your new country of residence may have been long and difficult. Yet, you excelled despite various challenges. We have seen the indomitable spirit of the overseas Indians who weather the most difficult and adverse circumstances abroad. The government also stood by its citizens in distress and reached out to them, as seen in the swift and well-coordinated evacuation operations from Yemen, Libya, and more recently, South Sudan. In the last 2.5 years, Government of India have made efforts to be more responsive to the Indian community abroad, including through Indian missions and consulates. Government of India have been actively addressing the concerns of Indian diaspora and have used social media and e-governance mechanisms to directly connect with many of you, especially those who are vulnerable and in needy of help. Wherever you are, irrespective of whether you are a blue-collar worker, a high-tech professional, or a corporate leader, we are very proud of you. We celebrate your success, take pride in your vision and determination, and applaud your achievements. We are proud to see that the Indian diaspora in many countries have risen to positions of leadership in several fields. They are making their voices heard, and they are spoken for India when the need arises. We have the honor of having amongst us the Vice President of Suriname, Michael Ashwin Aden, and the Prime Minister of Portugal, Mr. Antonio Costa, who has his roots in Goa. Their presence at the convention and remarks to the delegates are indeed an inspiration to all the overseas Indian delegates. We hope that both of them will carry back with them some memories of their visit and the people of this country. India today is a land of immense potential and unrivaled opportunities. We have set ourselves ambitious goals and have launched several flagship programs and initiatives which, with the objective of bringing about the transformational changes in various fields. The Prime Minister's keynote address yesterday showed us a glimpse of his vision for the nation and the keen desire to build an India in which the most downtrodden and the most deprived can have a better life. When we meet the Indian community abroad, they welcome Swachh Bharat, Smart City Mission, Digital India, Skill India, Startup India, and other visionary programs. I hope that the visit to the exhibition and the Chief Minister's sessions gave you an idea of opportunities in various states in India and the schemes which we have launched for the overseas Indians. Today, we are honoring some of overseas Indians who have made remarkable contributions in the country in which they are living or in India. We are also honoring community organizations that have played a crucial role in assisting the Indian community in times of need. It is a pleasure and honor to be present at this ceremony. I once again welcome and thank Honorable Rashtrapati Ji for his presence here today. And once again, I congratulate all the winners of the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
I'd now like to request the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Siddharth Ramaiah, to address the audience.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಣಬ್ ಮುಖರ್ಜಿ ಜಿ, Honorable President of India, Dr. Antonio Costa, His Excellency Prime Minister of Portugal, Sri Michael Aswin Adin, His Excellency Vice President of Suriname, Sri Wajubai Rudabai Wala, Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Sri H.N. Anant Kumar, Honorable Union Minister for Chemicals and Fertilizers, Sri Sadananda Gowda, Honorable Union Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation, General V.K. Singh, Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs, Sri R.V. Deshpande, Honorable Minister for Industries and Infrastructure Development, Government of Karnataka, members of the Indian diaspora across the globe, my cabinet colleagues, member of Parliament and Legislature, media friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am immensely delighted to participate in the valedictory function of the 14th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2017, in which our beloved Rashtrapati Ji will be conferring Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards. It has been a memorable 3 days of the celebrations of Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, in which 13 plenary sessions on important aspects of the theme redefining engagement with the Indian diaspora were held with great purpose and impact. Apart from the plenary sessions, we had the privilege of listening to the keynote address by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, His Excellency Vice President of Suriname, Mr. Michael Aswin Adin, and Honorable Union Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, Sri Vijay Goyal, addresses by General Special Guest, His Excellency Prime Minister of Portugal, Dr. Antonio Costa, Malaysian Prime Minister Special Envoy on Infrastructure for India and South Asia, Sri Swami Velu, Malaysian Minister for Health, Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam, Honorable Minister for Culture and Arts, Social Integration and Economic Empowerment of Mauritius, Mr. Prithvi Raj Singh Rupan, besides the addresses by the Union Ministers and Ministers of State, enthusiastic participation by the Chief Ministers of Assam, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Puducherry, as well as my cabinet colleagues for their wholehearted cooperation. I fondly acknowledge the guidance and support of the Honorable Union Minister for External Affairs, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, who was instrumental in providing Government of Karnataka the opportunity to host this prestigious biennial event. I wish to acknowledge the significant role played by all the ministers and senior officials from the Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and Sports for making this mega event a grand success. I wish to acknowledge my appreciation for my colleague and the Minister for Industries and Infrastructure Development, Sri R.V. Deshpande, for his dynamic role in making this event a success. I also wish to acknowledge my appreciation for the Chief Secretary to Government, Mr. Subhash Chandra Kuntia, Additional Chief Secretary to Government in the Department of Commerce and Industry, Sri D.V. Prasad, the Commissioner for Industrial Development, Sri Kaurav Gupta, who have translated our vision into a reality. I express my gratitude to each member from our diaspora who have traveled from different parts of the world to be with us during these 3 days. My special thanks to all the diaspora groups from Malaysia, Qatar, Mauritius, and other partner countries for making their presence in large numbers. The 3-day event started off with a grand expo and was followed by 2 excellent days during which we commemorated Mahatma Gandhiji's contribution to our nation. Of course, we have celebrated the contributions made by many other Pravasis too. Friends, the greatest hallmark of the Indian diaspora is its commitment to our common cultural heritage and passion for their motherland. It's a matter of great pride to us that overseas Indians are highly respected for their work culture, discipline, professionalism, and successful integration with local communities. Please do remember at all times that wherever you are, you be the brand ambassador of India. During these 3 days, more than 20,000 delegates attended the event. The plenary sessions saw full attendance, wherein a plethora of ideas were discussed and debated. Several business meetings were held. I also know that you were all able to network with many new people. Overall, the event a grand success, and it generated tremendous interest nationally and internationally. I wish to make a special mention of the Chief Minister's session, where 4 Indian states were presented. This session gave the opportunity to our fellow Chief Ministers to showcase opportunities and progress made by their respective states with respect to investment, business, potential, and tourism. I am very delighted and pleased that this platform has enabled the diaspora to interact with some of the great political and business leaders, besides providing a networking opportunity with entrepreneurs, investors, government officials, students, and citizens of the state. They also got a chance to meet the people of different countries and regions. As promised in my address on August 26th at the joint press conference in New Delhi, besides holding meaningful conferences covering vast subjects and creating interest for the NRI investor community, we showcased the art and culture of Karnataka and has organized special package tours to suit everyone's time and interest. I hope many of you were able to to take advantage of these organized tours and had a chance to see our state. In a world which is increasingly depending on digital technology for all forms of communication, the importance of personal touch is often undermined. In keeping with the theme of this year's Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, this platform has enabled a personal connection which has helped redefine engagement with the Indian diaspora. It created new bridges, forged new partnerships, and most importantly, it has brought all of us closer to our roots and to each other. This event also strengthened the bridge between India and the countries you now reside in. Let us all continue to interact, integrate, and work towards shared progress and prosperity. As I stated earlier, Karnataka is ready to receive you with open arms in the future in order to keep our discussions and engagements moving forward. Shortly, our Honorable President will be presenting this year's Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all the winners. In conclusion, let me reiterate that each one of you can play an important role in the growth and development of India, whether you are scholars, scientists, professionals, businessmen, and or even workers. You have within you experience, expertise, and knowledge, and gained a result of your life abroad, which can be of immense benefit to India. Many of you can also help in guiding more foreign direct investment to India by educating your colleagues and friends abroad of the business opportunities that exist in India. India, and in particular, Karnataka, continues to be an attractive investment destination. On our part, Government of Karnataka will continue to actively engage with the overseas Indian community and explore all possible avenues to make them valued partners in building of a strong and prosperous Karnataka. I wish all of you every success in your life and future endeavors. India looks upon you with affection, pride, and hope. Thank you all once again for your wholehearted cooperation and support. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Thank you all.
Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, some months ago, Sri Pranab Mukherjee, Honorable President of India, had agreed to write the foreword for a compilation of the Prime Minister's select speeches on foreign policy between 2014 and 2015. This book is not only a collection of speeches by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but the elucidation of a bold new vision of India's place in the world. Honorable Rashtrapati Ji has kindly consented to formally release the book this evening, and we're now presenting it to him. Their Excellencies, the Vice President of Suriname, Mr. Michael Ashwanadhin, and Dr. Antonio Costa, Prime Minister of Portugal, also being presented copies of the book. Thank you, respected Rashtrapati Ji. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is such a special moment in time. A time to honor the achievements, dedication, and excellence of our Pravasis who've distinguished themselves in so many diverse fields. I'd like to request President Pranab Mukherjee to now present the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards. And ladies and gentlemen, Our first recipient, His Excellency Dr. Antonio Costa, the Prime Minister of Portugal, for his contribution to public service. We were so honored to have him as our chief guest yesterday. Our next recipient, Dr. Gurur Krishna Harinath, for his contribution to community service from Australia. Rajashekharan Pillai Valavur Kathil, for his contribution to business from Bahrain. The Antwerp Indian Association receives an award represented by Mr. Mehul Kothari. He will now receive the award, and this is for community service. Belgium. Our next recipient, Nazir Ahmed Mohammad Zakaria, for community service from Brunei. They're all very distinguished people, so do keep up the applause. Our next recipient, Mukund Bhikubhai Purohit, for his contribution to business from Canada. Nalin Kumar Sumanlal Kothari from Djibouti, community service. For his contribution to social service from Fiji, Vinod Chandra Patel. For arts and culture from France, Raghunath Marie Antonin Manet. From Libya for community service, Ariful Islam. From Malaysia for his contribution to education and community service, our next recipient, Tan Sri Dato Dr. Thambiraja Munyandi. In the field of business management, from Qatar, Dr. Raghavan Sitaraman. In the field of education, our next recipient, Zinat Musarrat Jafri from Saudi Arabia. For community service, an award for the Singapore Indian Association, represented by Mr. Kesavapani Krishna Swamy, Singapore. In the field of medicine from Sweden, Dr. Karani Balaraman Sanjeevi. From Thailand, for his contribution to business, Sushil Kumar Saraf. And for public service from Trinidad and Tobago, Winston Chandarbhan Dukaran. For community service from the United Arab Emirates, Vasudev Shamdas Shroff. Philanthropy and Community Service, United Arab Emirates. The award goes to the India Social and Cultural Center, Abu Dhabi. Representing it is Thomas Verghese. From the United Kingdom for Public Service, Nina Gill, CBE and member of the European Parliament. In the field of environmental engineering from USA, Hari Babu Bindal. For community service also from the USA, Dr. Bharat Haridas Barai. From USA again, for public affairs, Nisha Desai Biswal. For community service, Ramesh Shah from the USA. For community leadership, USA, receiving an award, Dr. Sampat Kumar Shidramapa Shivangi. And ladies and gentlemen, another recipient from USA for his dedication to community service, Dr. Mahesh Mehta. Thank you very much, respected Rashtrapati Ji, for having conferred the awards. We'd now like to request a recipient of the award, Nisha Biswal, Assistant Secretary of State, State Department, USA, to make an acceptance speech.
Good evening. Honorable President Mukherjee, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, the Honorable Prime Minister of Portugal, Honorable Vice President of Suriname, Ministers, Excellencies, and distinguished guests. It is such a great honor to be here today accepting this award amongst such distinguished company. Let me first thank His Excellency, the Honorable President Mukherjee, as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Government of India, on my own behalf and on behalf of all of the recipients, for bestowing this great honor upon us. It is particularly humbling to receive this award from you, Mr. President, one of the most distinguished and decorated public servants that India has known. The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was established as a celebration of the influence and impact of the global Indian diaspora in contributing towards and connecting their communities and countries to their country of origin. The Samman Award, the highest honor awarded to persons of Indian origin, is indeed an award that recognizes the importance of building bridges and creating connections in this increasingly divided world. This year's recipients hail from 23 countries and include a prime minister, a vice president, members of parliament, all who have become political leaders and yet have retained strong cultural ties to India. It was indeed inspiring to hear of the Prime Minister of Portugal's own connections to India and how he was influenced by his family's Indian lineage. The same is true across our cultural, artistic, and civic communities. And there are award recipients tonight amongst us who are lifelong community leaders, those who have contributed to their current local communities as well as to the towns and villages where they hailed from. Leaders like Ramesh Shah of Houston and Bharat Barai of Chicago. For all of us, the journey to find our place and to make our mark has involved some struggles as we sought to establish ourselves in a new country and retain the emotional and cultural ties to our rich Indian heritage. And there were times that we, or past generations that left India, felt the anguish of leaving, as was the case for my parents. They left the small town in Gujarat, where their family and friends resided, and they left behind the world that they knew to embrace a new world, encountering new challenges and countless hardships in search of opportunity. But when Kanu and Lata Desai left India, India never left them. And this gathering, this award, is above all a celebration of that journey, a reaffirmation of that connection. And of course, in honoring those connections, we honor the most famous Pravasi of them all, who went on to make his mark on India and in the process changed the world. Mahatma Gandhi. Now, I have been asked to speak on behalf of all of the recipients, in some part because my very job for the past several years has been to be that connection, that bridge between the United States and India. As Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asia, appointed by President Barack Obama, I have sought to deepen the partnership between the United States and India, between our governments, our businesses, and our peoples. And the Indian diaspora has been a very important part of that relationship, has contributed to the deepening of those ties. The Indian diaspora have kept the culture alive in their own families, but they also shared it with their neighbors, with their schools, and with their communities. And so today, in America, Diwali is celebrated in every state of our union. In the schools and on college campuses and even in the White House. And today, when you want to send your Diwali greeting card, you can put a Diwali stamp on it. But not too long ago, it was very different. Emigres were accused by their families and their communities in India of betraying and abandoning their country of origin. And many felt pressured in their new homes to blend in, to fit in, and to hide their Indianness. But little by little, they stopped hiding and started sharing, creating understanding and building bridges between our societies. Today, we see the results of those early struggles as the Indian diaspora are leaders in public life, in industry, and in academia. In the United States, Indian Americans are omnipresent in the cultural life of America, and as a result, have become a part of that rich American tapestry. Some of the largest and most successful of American companies, Google, Microsoft, Pepsi, MasterCard, now have Indian American CEOs. And the success of that Indian diaspora in the United States is in many ways the story of America itself. Independent, industrious, and ambitious. People working for a better future for their family, their community, and their country. Those were the values and the goals that my parents instilled in me and which have guided my career for the past 2 decades, and especially these past years as Assistant Secretary. As the first Indian American to hold this position, which holds the responsibility for all diplomatic engagements across this region, including the day-to-day management of the U.S.-India relationship. I have sometimes been asked, how did I prioritize among the interests of my country of birth and the interests of my country, my home country, and the country of my citizenship? Well, of course, as an American, I have always worked to advance the interests of my country, the United States. But the wonderful thing about this job is that far more often than not, the interests of these two countries converge. They converge because the bonds between our two great countries are forged from our shared values of freedom, democracy, tolerance, and pluralism. These values are not only enshrined in the laws that govern our countries, but they are etched into our very souls and define us, who we are as nations and as peoples. Much has been said about the chemistry between President Obama and Prime Minister Modi. But the seeds of that relationship were sown decades ago, when a young Barack Obama soaked in the cultural influences of his Indian American roommate, and a young Narendra Modi traveled across the United States, visiting towns and communities across the country. Those shared values and shared experiences are what make our partnership a truly global one, a partnership that can fight the rise of the oceans, promote security on the high seas, deliver disaster relief, improve health in developing countries, and drive innovation and economic growth at home and abroad. And the progress our two countries have made over the past few years across virtually every field of human endeavor has left me with great confidence and filled me with great hope that indeed the United States and India will be the defining partnership of the 21st century. And in conclusion, while those values and commitments may appear to be tested in these recent times, when there is so much focus in the United States and around the world on the things that divide us, I'm confident that our better selves will win out and that we will continue to build the bridges of friendship, both within our countries and between our countries. So I'm very grateful to be here today and humbled to be accepting this award with a group of people that has dedicated and sacrificed so much so that we can fulfill that sacred duty to those who will come after us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nisha, for your eloquent and articulate acceptance speech. It's an honor for me to now invite the President, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, to deliver his valedictory address.
Good evening. His Excellency, Mr. Michael Ashwin Ardeen, Vice President of Suriname, Madam Gresala Bandana Ardeen, who is in the amongst the audience, His Excellency, Dr. Antonio Costa, Prime Minister of Portugal, Sri Vajubhai Vala, Governor of Karnataka, Sri Siddh Ramaya, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri D.V. Sadanand Gowda, Union Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation, Sri Anant Kumar, Union Minister for Chemicals, Fertilizers and Parliamentary Affairs, General V.K. Singh, Union Minister of State External Affairs, Sri R.V. Deshpande, Minister of Industries, Government of Karnataka, distinguished recipients of Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, members of Indian diaspora, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be present amongst you on this occasion of the valedictory function of Pravasi Bharatiya Sammelan. On this historic day, 102 years ago, perhaps the greatest Pravasi Bharatiya of all times, Mahatma Gandhi, father of Indian nation, came to India from his sojourn and experiments with truth in South Africa. We gathered here today to recalibrate and reaffirm our roots, even as we take pride in and gain sustenance from our adopted countries. One of the largest community of expatriates, numbering about 31.7 million, the Pravasi Bharatiya stands for his innate ability to assimilate and yet maintain its identity. In doing so, you have contributed immensely to your adopted lands through your dedication and hard work. There are many amongst you who have made notable contributions in the fields of high technology, business, politics, art and culture, sports, to mention a few. On behalf of the Government of India, it was indeed an honor for me to have conferred the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman on 30 individuals of the diaspora just a while back. I congratulate each one of them for their wonderful contribution they have made to their society and to strengthening the roots of Pravasi Bharatiyas. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to celebrate your success and achievements. You have been the fronting envoys of Indian culture since long, and I hope that will remain so as the foremost emissaries of the story of India unfolding itself. As a people exposed to the best of the Western technology and yet having their civilizational moorings in the ageless and eternal ethos of India, you are doubly blessed. The synergy of the West and the East that you represent provides you with a unique position and opportunity that involves sharing knowledge between your homeland and your adopted countries. While you showcase India to your host countries, you also bring along the cultural heritage of your adopted lands to your own motherlands. To my mind, nothing could exemplify our belief and ancient sayings of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, whole universe is my relations. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, many of you, having achieved material abundance, are actively involved in the pursuit of higher callings of spiritualism and happiness. For us in India, this has to be a parallel exercise, and I am sure that you could play a guiding role in this sphere. As we continue to strive successfully in achieving our due and deserving place amongst the Committee of Nations on Economic and Strategic Indices, our ancient strength in the realm of sublime and subtle should continue to remain in focus. The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas has been a flagship event for the engagement of the government with the diaspora spread across the oceans. I am happy to know that Indian embassies and high commissioners abroad are celebrating the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas today with the members of Indian diaspora in their respective countries. The convention where we are assembled today does not only provide an interface between the government and the Indian diaspora, it also provides an excellent opportunity for both the government of India and the state governments to showcase policies, initiatives, achievements in various sectors and invite the diaspora to contribute and give back to the country of their origin. Friends, we have amongst us several eminent personalities from the Indian diaspora who are in leadership positions across the globe. His Excellency Dr. Antonio Costa, the Prime Minister of Portugal, who is with us today, has its root in Goa. His presence here is a source of inspiration for all of us and for the Indian diaspora across the world. We are delighted that he could participate as chief guest in the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. India's relation with Portugal have been and continue to stay warm and friendly with close political, security, cultural, and most importantly, people-to-people ties. We are grateful to you, sir, as I personally had the opportunity of meeting you in Delhi, and once again I am getting this opportunity to meet you here. Thank you, sir. I am also glad that one of the youngest Indian diaspora leaders, the Vice President of Suriname, Mr. Michael Ashwin Adin, is here with us today. India enjoys close and friendly relationship with Suriname, reinforced by cultural and people-to-people contact. The Indian diaspora migrated to Suriname nearly 142 years ago. More than 230,000 personnel of Indian origin living in Suriname have made a significant contribution in all walks of life in their country. Distinguished friends, while we celebrate achievements and success, I want to draw attention towards several NRIs who were temporary migrants in the Gulf region and Southeast Asia. They are Indian citizens who migrate for employment as low-skilled and semi-skilled labor. They toil hard day and night and save to send the fruits of their labor as remittances to India to maintain their families back home. These remittances are the largest by any diaspora at 12% of the total global remittances, amount to $69 billion for the year 2015. Many of them are likely to return to India, but while they live abroad, all of them are vulnerable in many ways owing to the fact that they do not enjoy the privileges of citizenship in the host countries. This is especially true of the people working in areas of strife and conflict, with their security and physical well-being on the line. In this regard, it is with satisfaction that I note the role played by their mother country in assuaging their concerns. In swift and coordinated operations involving multiple ministries and organizations, we have been able to bring back thousands of fellow countrymen from strife-torn nations. I congratulate you, General Minister of State External Affairs, for the initiative taken by your ministry and dynamic Foreign Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj. With regard to these temporary migrants going abroad in search of employment, it will also be prudent that attention is paid towards their skill upgradation. Establishing linkage between the Government of India's skill programs and the skill gap that exists among the migrant workforce will go a long way in enhancing their employability as well as their earnings. Friends, over the past couple of years, we have introduced several initiatives aimed at smart solutions. In 2014, we launched the eMigrate platform for effectively and transparency in the recruitment of emerging check required category of the Indian workers. Such initiatives will surely help in protecting the rights of our workers proceeding abroad and ensure accountability of the recruitment agents in India and their foreign employers. As far as the vulnerability of expatriate Indians are concerned, I would also like to flag the concerns of women and girls in India marrying into NRI's families. Even as the government and its agencies deal with this issue, the concerns of this particular section can be most effectively addressed by the local community organizations. I take this opportunity to call upon the Indian community organizations abroad, many of whom have been awarded today, to continue complementing the efforts of the Government of India, working in tandem with them and providing the necessary relief to these deserving persons. Distinguished guests, occasions such as these provide us with an opportunity to reaffirm our continued engagement with each other. At the same time, they also call for reorientation and rejuvenation of our areas of engagement. The government is implementing certain schemes for the youth who were born and brought up abroad. In this regard, the Know India program is a flagship initiative under which such young men and women can visit India to rediscover their heritage and culture and get acquainted with the contemporary India. Similarly, the occasion calls for highlighting sectors in India that need your active support and engagement. We have a young population which needs to be equipped with the professional and technical education in the highest standard. The Indian diaspora may consider participating in programs such as GYAN, global initiative of academic networks under which they can visit India and accept short-term academic assignments with institutions of higher learning, including IITs and IIMs. They can also avail the fellowship and scholarship programs offered by the Department of Science and Technology and Biotechnology to explore avenues for joint research and development. Through such collaborations, our institutions, entrepreneurs, and innovators can enrich our education sector and skilling efforts. Similarly for you, the opportunities for contributing to your motherland and your root being a part of the exciting growth story of India, which are many and varied. Be it Make in India, Startup India, Digital India, or Clean India, all these programs provide ample opportunities for you to participate, contribute, and benefit. Before I conclude, I would also like to take this opportunity to express my appreciations to the organizers for releasing the book, which is a collection of the speeches of Prime Minister of 2014 and 2015 in regard to the foreign policies of the country. These speeches are just not enunciation and reiteration of the unique policies of India in respect of international understanding, global cooperation, dispute resolutions, and move towards peace, disarmament, development, and environmental protection. These statements contain an emerging India, an India which is moving ahead, keeping behind its baggage and burdens, which is looking with the world with optimism, confidence, and the belief that the world belongs to them. They are not outsiders, but they are insiders. This new image of emerging India is reflected in the speeches of the Prime Minister. I am grateful that you have brought it out on this occasion, which will help the readers, researchers, and academies to understand India's perspective in the new context. I am confident the achievement of yours, my Pravasi friends, both in your place of origin and your connect with the nation which you have adapted, have been strengthened through your participation in the Pravasi Bharatiya Convention. I once again exhort all of you present here to become a part of the developing, evolving Indian story, which is really fantastic, as it is the story of 1.3 billion people. It is the story of great diversity and also underlying unity amongst this diversity, with 200 daily languages used, 1,600 dialects, 7 religions, 3 ethnic groups, yet living under one system, one constitution, one flag. Perhaps the singular example of unity amidst diversity, the story of this unfolding India with this great diversity is a fantastic story. I urge upon you to take full part in you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I also wish you a very happy, prosperous New Year's for all of you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.
Respected Rashtrapati Ji, we are indeed deeply grateful for your gracious presence here at this valedictory session and for sharing your wisdom and perspective with us. The Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Siddha Ramaiah, will now present a beautiful memento each. First to respected Rashtrapati Ji, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. This magnificent work of art and a token of our appreciation for His Excellency, the Vice President of Suriname. And for His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Portugal. To bring the evening to a close now, there'll be a vote of thanks by Mr. Dhaneshwar M. Mule, Secretary, CPV and OIA, Ministry of External Affairs.
Good evening and namaskar. Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, His Excellency the Vice President of Suriname, Mr. Michael Ashwinadhin, His Excellency the Prime Minister of Portugal, Dr. Antonio Costa, Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Honorable Union Minister Shri Anant Kumar, Honorable Union Minister Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Siddaramaiah, Honorable Minister of Industries of Karnataka, Shri R.V. Deshpande, Minister of State for External Affairs, General Dr. V.K. Singh, distinguished delegates, and all overseas friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to be called upon to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of valedictory session of the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards Ceremony 2017. On behalf of the Ministry of External Affairs, I convey my sincere thanks to the Honorable President of India for gracing the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards ceremony and sharing with us his vision of betterment of the most vibrant diaspora in the world. We are greatly honored by his gracious presence and immensely inspired by his address. We assure the Honorable President that we are working in the direction of strengthening and redefining our engagement with the diaspora so that their connect with India grows exponentially. I would like to thank His Excellency, the Vice President of Suriname, for gracing the occasion. Your participation, sir, has raised the profile of this meet and inspired the young delegates, especially the overseas Indians. Your use of Sanskrit in the speech at the Youth PBD was greatly appreciated. I would like to thank His Excellency the Prime Minister of Portugal for his presence and hope that the convention and visit to India would further strengthen the people-to-people contact between India and Portugal. We wish you a joy in your journey to Madgaon, where your father had spent his childhood. We acknowledge the presence of senior ministers from Malaysia and Mauritius, which have further served to strengthen the people-to-people ties and relations with these countries. I would like to thank the Honorable Governor of Karnataka for taking out time to grace this occasion. I would also like to thank the Union Minister for Statistics and Program Implementation for his gracious presence here today and address the innovation session in the morning. I wish to express my sincere thanks to the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka for his participation in the PBD this year and for his able leadership and guidance, which has resulted in a very successful and a memorable convention this year. I wish to sincerely thank Shri R.V. Deshpande, Minister of Large and Medium Industries and Infrastructure Development, Karnataka, for his wholehearted support, meticulous supervision, and coordinating role for the past 6 months, and leading several departments in the government of Karnataka, which were critical to the smooth organization of this convention in Bangalore. The team on the ground, led by Chief Secretary Shri Kuntia and D.B. Prasad, Additional Chief Secretary, has spared no effort in the local support in the spirit of partnership between the Ministry of External Affairs and Government of Karnataka. A special word of thanks to the State Police, which has managed this event in a seamless manner. I wish to thank both the Minister of State for External Affairs for their valuable support, guidance, and participation throughout the event at various sessions. Our External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, could not be here. We have missed her for the last 3 days. However, she is present in every session, every inaugural event of the Youth PBD as well as the main PBD, because she is monitoring, she has shaped this event, and she has continued to guide us even though she has been in Delhi. She has formatted the PBD in the new form that you have seen here, and to make it more substantive, interactive, and dialogue-oriented. We are deeply grateful to her for her guidance and leadership at every step, the results of which are evident over the last 3 days. We all wish a very quick and early recovery. I would like to thank all our honored guests and distinguished delegates who have come from all over the world. More than 72 countries to attend the convention and for their enthusiastic participation and interest in improving engagement with diaspora. The speakers who participated in the sessions and the delegates have all brought their valuable insights and expertise, which was very productive. Several other state governments have participated in the convention, 4 of them led by their chief ministers and others by their ministers and senior officials. We thank all of them for their participation. The PBD exhibition was one of our highlights this year. We are very grateful to the exhibitors, especially the Government of India and state government entities, which have showcased the flagship programs and initiatives. We have worked very closely with various organizations to organize this event. We would like to thank the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, that is FICCI, our conference partner, and their entire team who have helped us in organizing the convention in the last few months. Our sincere appreciation to the artists from All India Radio for their melodious performance yesterday. I wish to thank the Indian Council for Cultural Relations for the excellent cultural program yesterday, which showcased the diverse forms of Indian music and culture. We are thankful to the management team of the venue, Bangalore International Exhibition Center, BIEC, our logistics partner Thomas Cook, event management partner Viscraft, broadcast partner Prasar Bharati, travel partner Air India, media partners from across the world, sponsors and others for their cooperation and partnership in organizing various aspects of this event. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks to the entire team in the Ministry of External Affairs, which has worked tirelessly on putting together this event for the last 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my vote of thanks with India's ancient prayer for universal peace and harmony. Sarve bhavantu sukhinas, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Dhanyavad.
Please rise now for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. There'll now be a group photograph. We'll have all the awardees come up and have a photograph with the President and all our other distinguished dignitaries on stage. Please do not leave the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, please do sit down. Please do not leave the hall until respected Rashtrapati Ji leaves the hall and all our other dignitaries. We request you to please remain seated till then. Thank you.